Hello? Hello? Anybody? Hey, this is Johnny Beane. 11:43 a.m. Friday, August 12th, 2016. Here we go. Let me mute that. Okay, good. I am live right now, 11:44 a.m. This is my VEDA, which stands for Vlog Every Day in August. I'm basically doing a video every day answering questions off a calendar. I actually didn't do my VEDA yesterday. I'll tell you guys about my day yesterday real quick. I had to go I don't know if any of you live in Northern California, you might know about a town called Modesto, California. It's basically where I live now. I live in Santa Cruz. Okay. I live literally 5 minutes from the Pacific Ocean. I can actually see the ocean from where I live. Believe it or not. I can actually drive up a little hill and I can see the ocean. It's amazing. But so anyway, so yesterday I had to go to Modesto and basically spend all day there. And the temperature difference between Santa Cruz and Modesto is, let's just say, I think it was like in the 60s here. When I got to Modesto, it was like 100 degrees, right? And actually, I took a sweater with me because it's cold here where I live. You know, it's actually kind of overcast. Let's see. If you want, I can tell you exactly what the temperature is here right now. It's like 63. Yeah, it's like 61. Oh, it's even colder. It's 61 degrees. Hey, Stefan, how are you doing, man? Thanks for joining. It's 61 degrees where I am right now, Santa Cruz. So anyway, so yesterday, so I go to Modesto, I get out of the car, it's 100 degrees. Hey, Joe Wentz, everybody. Anyway, I end up getting stuck in Modesto yesterday all day, stuck at a mall. All right, it's called Valley Fair, and it's cool. You know, it's a modern place or whatever. But since I was stranded there all day, it would have been cool if I could have like gone to see a movie or something. Kenneth, hey there. How are you doing, Kenneth? You know. So anyway, and so this has nothing to do with my VEDA that what I'm talking about. Well, it kind of does actually. Kind of does. Well, no, it kind of doesn't. I don't know. Who knows? But so anyway, so that's what it is. So I'm telling you about yesterday. So I didn't do my vlog yesterday. And actually I could have. I got home like around 10 o'clock, I think. 10:30. And I could have done my vlog or whatever, but it was like, nah, I'll just save it. You know, so I'll do two there's this, like I said, there's this calendar that I'm reading this month, and I'll answer both the questions today. The question from yesterday, which was the 11th, and the question for today, the 12th. So the question for yesterday for Savvy Sexy Socials vlog every day in August, the question is Pokemon Go. Basically, what do you think about Pokemon Go? And I guess anybody, if you're listening right now, 48 minutes after the hour, if you're listening right now, if you want to tell me, what do you think about Pokemon Go? You can just comment. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys play it? Have you guys seen people playing it? It's crazy. It's insane. You know, I see people walking across the street, against green lights, looking at their phone. You know, it's nuts. I personally have not played it. I will not play it. Sean says it sucks. That's cool. That's cool. Have you tried it, Sean? Have you seen it? Have you guys seen? Hey, Kenneth. Kenneth says, I'm not really sure what it's all about. I just see jaywalkers everywhere. Yes, I know. I know. It's basically what it is. It's people walking around. The game runs off GPS, right? So they're basically walking around, looking at their phone, capturing Pikachus or whatever. I don't even know what a Pikachu is. I don't even know what a Pokemon is. Pokemon. I have no idea. I just know it was some popular card game in the what? In the 90s? Was it late 90s, mid 90s? Stefan says, I do it when you go for the nightly walks, but I also pay attention as you walk. Oh, so you do play it? You actually play it? I was gonna download it, just because I wanted to see if there are any Pikachus or Pokemons in my area. Because actually I live in like a real private area, and I didn't want people coming over here walking around. You know. Sean says, I've seen it. I have zero interest, but I'm not 13 either. I don't know if 13-year-olds are even playing it. I think they're all I think they're like 30-year-olds. Well, no, actually, I did see like a 10-year-old playing it. I was actually in a store down the street, and there was a kid just standing there looking at an iPad, doing something. And one of the guys that worked at the store, he's like, "Oh, he's playing Pokemon. He's playing Pokemon." Like he knew what he was doing. Kenneth says, I walk my dog about 8 miles every day, but Pokemon hasn't caught my attention. Yeah. Oh, I see. Stefan says he plays it with his girlfriend's 5-year-old. Okay, that's cool. Is it fun to play? Is it cool? I've watched videos on YouTube of people playing it, just to see what it looks like. So what I was saying though, the reason I was going to download it was just to see. I wanted to make sure there weren't any, characters in my yard. It's gotten to that point where I'm the old man now, and I'm like, hey, get off my lawn, kind of thing. I've turned into that. Stefan says, I oddly find it fun. Lol. That's cool. It probably is fun. It actually probably is. And I could actually go for a nice long walk. Kenneth is asking, did I watch the new Rogue One trailer, the new Star Wars? Yes, I did. When I got home last night, I watched it when I pulled up to the house. I hit Wi-Fi, and I opened up Facebook, and there it was. And so I watched it on my phone. I watched it on my phone, and then when I came inside, I watched it on my desktop, my computer, the thing I'm talking through right now. Yeah, it was cool, really cool. I'm looking forward to that film. Big Star Wars fan. So anyway, so yeah, Pokemon. It's Pokemon, right? It's not Pokemon. Stefan says, cannot wait to see Rogue One. Yeah. That should be great. That should be awesome. Kenneth says it has that special Star Wars feeling, I think. Oh, yeah. It goes back to it takes place, where does it even take place in the timeline? Well, I guess it'd be before the first film then, right? Because they're talking about the Death Star. Or maybe it's during the first film. I don't know. Maybe it takes place during the first movie, the original Star Wars. Before Episode 4, Kenneth says. Okay, and Episode 4, that's Star Wars, right? The original? Yeah. Stefan says just before New Hope. Okay, cool. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see that. I'll probably see that a few times. Renee. Hey, Renee. Renee says, I downloaded it. Talking about Pokemon just to see it myself. The game gives you a Pikachu at first. Oh, when you first download it, it gives you a free Pikachu. What is a Pikachu anyway? Is it like a rabbit? Oh, and Renee says she deleted it. Not my thing. Be consumed on the streets. Lol. Hey, Manny. Manny says, Happy Friday, everybody. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Joe Wentz. Joe says, I'd rather watch Star Wars than play Pokemon. Well, how about you watch Star Wars while you're playing Pokemon? That's the way to go. Stefan says, the new robot looks awesome. Oh, talking about Star Wars. Have you seen the clip where the rebel tells him to carry the bag? The robot replies, no, and drops the bag. I don't know if I saw that. I'm not sure. Looks good though. Looks really good. Looks awesome. Getting back to the original characters like stormtroopers and all that. And it looks like that the movie has like younger versions of some of the people that were in Star Wars. Like Mon Mothra is younger. Tarkin is younger. So that's pretty cool. I actually met Mon Mothra, the actress that played her in Jedi. I actually met her one time, and she was very nice. I actually have a photo with her. I met her about almost 20 years ago. It's crazy. Yeah. Anyway, welcome everybody to Pokemon and Rogue One chat today. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, Pokemon. Yeah, so I was gonna download it just to look at it. Because like I said, I wanted to see if there was any Pikachus in my yard. Because I didn't want people coming over here looking for them. But apparently the stuff isn't like, well, I mean, I guess maybe some of you guys who have played it would know better than I would, but from what I've heard, there aren't just characters like standing around. You actually have to walk around and the characters pop up as you're walking. So I don't think there's any characters out in my backyard right now just hanging out. Any Pikachus or I don't even know. So yeah, so I was gonna download it just to see if there was a Pikachu hiding in the bushes, because I didn't want some nerd coming over here and you know walking past my window. I get out of the shower and there's some dork walking by or something. I didn't want that. So, but anyway, I heard. So that's what I heard anyway. That you actually have to walk around and find it, and they're not just here. So nobody's gonna just randomly come over here looking for it. Although I don't know. Maybe they will. I hope not. Let me see. Stefan, if you dig Star Wars, check this channel out. Huh? Oh no, yeah, it's cool, man. Yeah, share whatever you want. Pretty much. Yes. Yeah, so anyway, I don't know. Yeah, so I didn't download it because it wanted me to sign in with Google, and I was like, huh? I'm like, nah, didn't do it. Didn't do it. So I'm not playing it. I haven't played it. I don't plan on playing it. Plus, it's not, we're all staring at our phones enough as it is, you know. which it's actually really bad. I've talked to my chiropractor about this. You know, when people look down at their phone, it's actually very, very bad for their necks. You know, so when you're looking at your phone, you know how they say you want to have your if you have a screen desktop computer, you want to have it like eye level. You don't want to be hunching over, which maybe I should actually sit back a little bit. There we go. There we go. You know, so generally when I look at my phone anyway, I hold it up in front of my face. You know. So yeah, Pokemon. Have not played it. Will not play it. Although I do know people that do play it, and I was hanging out with somebody the other day up in Walnut Creek, and I hear like these weird noises coming from his phone, and I'm like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, I'm playing Pokemon." I'm like, "What? What is that? You mean? I mean, what with the Pikachu's?" And he's like, "Yeah, look, I've got a Pikachu," and he showed it to me. I'm like, "Okay." Reverb. Reverb 14 says, "Gonna love seeing the Death Star again." Oh yes, in Rogue One or whatever. The new Star Wars. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'll be very, very cool. Very awesome. And it is now noon here in California, just to let you guys know. Which would be what, 3 o'clock Eastern time, 2 o'clock Central, maybe. Yeah, Kenneth says it's a unanimous Pokemon no go. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where people said it took off way too quickly, you know, so that only means people are going to get sick of it pretty soon. Although I don't know, you know, that's also one of the problems is I tend to get, if I like something, I tend to totally get into it. Oh, it's 9 o'clock p.m. in Denmark. Is that where you are, Kenneth? Are you in Denmark? I tend to really get into stuff, you know, so I'm actually afraid if I did download Pokemon, I'd probably be sitting there playing it. I'd be walking around right now somewhere playing it, you know. Hey, nobody. Kenneth, oh, you're in Denmark. Oh, awesome. Very cool. Nobody says I can hang with Star Wars unlimited budgets for armies and ships and weapons. Hmm. Any of you guys play Star Wars video games? I used to. I don't really have any current ones at the moment. I used to play the old Battlefront. There was the Battlefront, and there was Battlefront 2. I used to play those. Those are cool. And a new one came out more recently, and I'd like to play it, but I haven't. I don't have it. One game I do play sometimes, once in a while, is Grand Theft Auto. But I play it on my iPad. You know. Oh, cool. Kenneth says I play the Star Wars. Huh? Star Wars Galaxies? Is that what that is? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the only game I really play these days is Grand Theft Auto. Whatever one is on the iPad. Not Vice City. Yeah, I had that one, and then the one after that, whatever that is. Nobody says I love the arcade one with the flying through. Well, here we go. Stefan likes Star Wars Battlefronts. Yeah. Joe Wentz is asking, are the characters in the Rogue One supposed to be younger versions of any original characters? Just curious. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You see the trailer. You see some younger versions of Mon Mothra. which was she was the one in Jedi, and then Tarkin, I believe. Yeah, they're all younger. The new movie takes place right before the first Star Wars. Reverb 14 says play the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes mobile app. I'll have to check that out. Kenneth is saying yes, Star Wars Galaxy's emulator. Private people that have received the I guess there's some games out there I haven't have not seen. Definitely have not played yet. Whoa. Look at all these comments all of a sudden. Oh, my this app is kicking in. Let's see. Let's see what this says. So anyway, so yeah, so as far as Pokemon, yeah. I guess if you dig it, if it's fun, then it's cool. I mean, it's all about what you like to do, you know? Okay. All right. Okay. I got all those. So as far as today's question on the calendar for Savvy Sexy Socials vlog every day in August, VEDA. Question today is what puts a smile on your face? A lot of things. I like a lot of stuff, you know. I say definitely doing these things really does, you know. I really dig. I've really enjoyed doing these live what would you call them? Broadcasts, you know, podcasts, you know, hangouts, you know. Kenneth says new gear. Yes. Oh, yeah, of course. I think we can all agree on that. Nobody says a brand new custom guitar. Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. New guitars, new effects, new pedals, new anything. You know, is always a good thing. Definitely. Definitely. But yeah, as far as doing these things, I mean, I've said time and time again, you know, when I'm in the Google Hangouts with whoever, you know, talking about whatever, I really dig just doing this stuff and having people enjoy it, you know. So it's very it's cool, it's fun, yeah, and I really appreciate you guys tuning in, you know, every time, and whether I promote it or not. Like this, I didn't promote, you know, I just jumped on. These Vedas, I don't really promote. The Google Hangouts, it's more of I promote them, you know. So it looks like I'm probably doing one today at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, probably, most likely, you know. Um, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and I really dig, you know, like what we did, you know, the last time the other day. You know, I gave out a phone number, and people actually called up, you know, and asked a question or commented or whatever, you know. So if you guys pretty much, you know, if you ever want to call in, you're always welcome, you know. always welcome to call up. And that number, let me see if I can find it. Where is it? These days nobody knows their own phone numbers. You just put numbers into a phone and you just say call Bob or whatever. And it's like, oh, people even ask, oh, what's your phone number? Oh, I don't even know my number. But yeah, so my phone number, if you ever want to call up, especially when I'm live like this, I mean, that I would prefer, yeah, if I were to give my phone number out, yeah, if specifically when I'm actually live broadcasting over YouTube or Periscope or even Facebook Live, I do those. If you ever want to call up while I'm on the air, so to speak, that number is 415-952-3263. Like right now. If you want to call up right now, you could, if you want. I don't know how long I'm actually going to be sitting here, but I guess I could be sitting here for a little while. But yeah, but that number you can text me anytime at that number. Like a couple people texted me yesterday at that number. And if you have any questions or comments, you can always text me. That's always, it's always good. And yeah, that was an email that just came in. That was something else though. Let's see. Reverb 14 is asking any tips for starting out on guitar. Any tips? Well, I mean, the main thing is to have fun, have a good time. Because the guitar, like anything, it can be frustrating. When you're learning something brand new. I don't know if you're a total beginner, Reverb 14, but just have fun, stick with it. Some tips I would say, if possible, play a guitar or any instrument, like whatever instrument you're picking up, right? Whatever it is, if possible, get one that looks cool to you. So you would see it, you would see it sitting there on the stand or in the case or on the floor or wherever you keep it, and you'd look over at it and it would make you want to pick it up and practice it or play it or make noises on it, whatever it is. Make it something that inspires you. A lot of people, kids, they put stickers on their guitars, to make it their own. I've put stickers on my guitars. Some of my guitars have stickers on them, some of them don't. I've had guitars that have had stickers all over them. I've had a lot of guitars over the years. I've actually had, I'd say at one time, I had about 50 guitars. So I've had quite a few. I don't have nearly that many anymore. I probably have about half that now. I probably have about 25. But yeah, just play, if possible. Like I said, play an instrument that makes you want to play it. Makes you want to pick it up and learn on it. Whether that means either getting something that looks cool, if you can, because a lot of kids, first starting out, it's like, some people, they hand them, an instrument that just, it's like a hand-me-down from, I don't know, somebody, or they find it, find it in a dumpster or something. And it might not look cool, so make it look cool. Put some stickers on it, draw on it, repaint it. I've done all that over the years. I've drawn on my guitars, just because I don't care. I'll take notes on my guitars with a Sharpie. It's like, oh, I forgot. I have to go pick up some milk, after that, and I'll write down on the guitar milk. And I don't even care because I can either just, it comes off. You can wash it off or just leave it. I actually have a guitar sitting here somewhere that has something written on it from years ago, like a little note. Yeah. Well, here I am talking about how you should play a guitar that looks cool to you. Myself, I don't even care what my guitar looks like. I don't care at all. I just, for me, when it comes to a guitar, number one, it has to sound awesome and play awesome. The action. You know, that's really it for me. So as long as it plays, mainly it has to play great. You can make any guitar sound better with better pickups. And like I've always said, it really depends on your amplifier. If you have a great amp, you can have pretty much anything sound pretty good. So I don't care what my guitar looks like, but it has to sound good and play good, meaning be comfortable to play. Joe says, I had a nice phone conversation with Nesdal yesterday. Super nice guy. Cool, man. Cool. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he calls me all the time. Let me see. 802 Blues. Hey, how are you? Sean says, hey, Johnny, do you happen to know if the Epiphone Pee Wee Les Pauls are the same scale as Eddie's little guitar? I do not know that. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure if they are or not. They could be, and also they might not be. Well, you got to find out first of all what the scale of Eddie's little guitar is. I actually have a photo of it in a magazine. Let me grab it real quick. Let me see if it says. Although I'm sure if you do some research online, you can find out the scale because people talk about it. Ask Nesdal. He'd probably know. Okay, I've got a photo of it. No, it doesn't say what the scale is. Thing is, though, a lot of those mini Les Pauls, a lot of times you would want super heavy strings on it. Hey, Vinny. Vinny says, hey. I actually have like a mini Les Paul myself, which most of you guys probably don't even know that. It's just like what is it? It's like a Samick or something. I've had it for years. I originally got it just to keep it in the car, just so I could play it, at stoplights or whatever. And then I don't know where it is. It's somewhere around here. Joe Wentz says, hey, Johnny, I'm on guitar lockdown. I have 23 guitars. Wife says that's plenty. Well, let's see. Here's the trick, Joe. I hope my wife is not listening. You get guitars that all look the same. You interchange them, So it's like, wait a minute, They'll never notice if every guitar you have looks identical. But also, yeah, if you have enough guitars, it's easy to slide new ones in and out. It's harder to tell. But if you only have like 5 guitars and all of a sudden there's like a sixth guitar, it's like, wait a minute, where'd that one come from? Or don't get one that's too odd, that's too different from your other ones. Like let's say you play all strats and then you sneak in a flying V. They're gonna notice that right away. Sean says, is it a Lotus? Mine? No, mine's a Samick. It's a Samick guitar. Yeah, yeah. Ask Nesdal about the scale. He'll probably know. Or if he doesn't, that other guy, Rob Johnson, will, because he has a Lotus that he made. Yeah, ask Rob. He would know definitely. uh, let me see. There was another part of this. Reverb 14 says that you're 15, but started when you were 13. But you hasn't taken any actual lessons. I have the red, white, and black EV8 Stripe series and black Epiphone. Oh, awesome! Very cool. Cool guitars, man. Very cool. And yeah, when you're first starting out, I mean, it helps. It helps to take some lessons, just to get to get the basics down. You know, um, learn some chords. You know, um, but yeah, that's what I did. I took when I first started. I took some lessons, very 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 briefly. But then it got to the point where I would take a song for my teacher to show me, and my teacher would learn the song and show it to me, and I'm like, wait a minute, but that's not right. It didn't sound the same to me. So from that point, I took it upon myself and started learning stuff on my own and figuring stuff out. And that's really what you have to do, is you just have to lock yourself, in a room with your guitar and your iPod or whatever these days. For me, back then, it was a turntable. I used to actually play along with actual vinyl albums and cassettes. Reverb says, I only have a $75 basic crate amp. That's cool. That's cool. That's what I started on too. I still have it. Mm-hmm. It's actually a great sounding little amplifier, the one that I have. It's a crate. I want to say like G10 or something. G20. Is that even what a model? I don't even remember. It says something like that. But it's a great sounding little amp. I would actually record with it. You know, the distortion sounds pretty good. um, yeah, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, VEDA. So yeah, the question today. What was the Oh, here it is. What puts a smile on your face? I know some of you have answered. Is there anybody else that just tuned in? Like Vinny. Did Vinny? What puts a smile on your face, Vinny? Reverb 14 commented, I'm not sure if I want the new 5150 amp or the Hellwind amp for Sinister Gates. I have not heard the Hellwind. But the new 5150 amps are awesome. The new EVH Gear 5153 amplifiers, they're amazing. I've played through a bunch of them. I play them at NAMM every year. 802 Blues Says, I really think it is better to learn by ear. I learned a lot from my father's record collection, which is still mostly what I listen to. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, you really you have to develop an ear. That's the main that's one of the main things you got to do. But it also depends on what you're trying to do, what you want to do. You know, some people play the guitar just to play the guitar. They learn some chords just to strum chords, you know. Some people uh want to learn songs. They want to learn their favorite songs by their favorite bands, you know. Some people want to write their own songs, you know. That's where I am. I'm all into writing original stuff. And the way I look at it now is yes, I play the guitar, but I actually it's funny. I don't know if it even makes sense. I consider myself more of a musician than a guitar player, you know. Uh because every time I pick up, I mean, I don't know if that makes sense, but like when people ask me what I do, you know, most guys who play guitar, they're like, "Oh, I play guitar," you know. If people ask me, most people ask me what I do, I say I'm a musician, you know. Um, because you know, I don't just play guitar. I play guitar. I play bass. I play some keyboards. I play uh, what else? I'm looking to see what other instruments I have laying on the floor. You know, um, I like to create music is what I do, and I just happen to play the guitar. You know, so that's kind of what I mean by when I said earlier, like I don't care what my guitar looks like. You know, because I'm just using it. I'm just using it just to make music, just to write stuff, just to you know for recording. You know, and I use different guitars for different things. I use different. Well, of course, when you're in the studio, when you're recording, you use many different guitars for different sounds, different effects. You know, so I use a lot of different things for the studio, and it can look like hell. You know, doesn't matter. When I perform live, I have specific guitars that I use. You know, for the situation. You know, depends on what band I'm playing with, what style of music it is. You know, my main guitar generally is a Fender Telecaster with two humbuckers. You know, that's the main thing I use. And but that's for mainly just singer songwriter stuff. You know, whatever. But if I were when I do the more harder rock stuff, yeah, I use a guitar with a Floyd Rose humbucker pickup. You know, I've got a few. Some of you may know I do. I have a few of those. And then of course I've got the PV Wolfgang. I've got the I've got an EVH gear Wolfgang I slapped together from parts. Let's see. Getting some more comments. Yeah, thank you everybody for the comments. Appreciate it. It's nice that I'm not just sitting here talking to myself. It's cool. It's actually cool. There's somebody actually listening to this. You know, everywhere around the world. You know, I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting here in a house in Santa Cruz, California. You know, just let's see. Looking through the comments. Comments. Joe Wentz says, "What I used to do when I first started playing in 1986, I'd go to the music store and watch people play, and I'd try to pick up some licks." That's cool, man. Oh, same here. Same with me, man. Exact same thing. You go into the local shop, you watch people playing. You know, I remember when I first started. I could probably barely play anything by that point. And I remember going into a music store, and I was out of town with with my parents somewhere. Uh, I don't even know where we were, and I just happened to saw there was a little music store, so I went in, and I think that the guy or the kid or whoever was working there, I remember this. This is so funny. Uh, he was playing the guitar, and I think he asked me what music I liked, what bands or whatever. And at that time, I was listening to Van Halen's 5150 album a lot, and I remember he started playing Summer Nights, and I remember thinking it was so cool because I'd never seen anybody play that in person. I'd never seen that, and so he was playing it, and he was doing the pick scratching, up the string, and this is when I first started, right? So I was just like, whoa, I can't believe it. This is cool. It was very cool. Stefan says, I can be having the worst day, and if I pick up one of my guitars, I smile, my whole outlook changes. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's all about, it should make you it should make you happy playing the guitar, playing music, you know. No matter what you do with it, you know. Um One of the things that I really, really dig that makes me happy, and it kind of shocks you too, is if I'm writing something. Because see, I write and record at the same time. Sometimes I actually write and put ideas down, and then go back and turn those ideas into songs. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I write and record just at, at the same time. You know, so I'll be writing and recording as I go along, and then sometimes I'll finish a track that way, whatever it is, and I'll go back to it like the next day and listen back. A lot of times, I'll go back and listen back to stuff. And I've got like catalogs of recordings. I've got so many. Sometimes I'll go back and dig through those tapes and put them on and listen to them. And I only keep the stuff that I really like, at the time, although I do record everything. I do record, and I do keep everything that I've ever done. I mean, literally everything I've ever done, I still have on cassettes, on the computer, MP3s, waves, CDRs. I have everything going back, to when I was 12 or 13 years old. You know, so I don't generally go back that far to listen to tapes, but I'll go back. I'll go back, so many years and listen to stuff, and I'll be shocked a lot of times because I'll forget about stuff because I write so much. I forget about. I put them down. Yeah, I put the tracks down and then forget about it. And then if I go back far enough or whatever, I'll listen to something, and it's pretty cool because you play it, and like I said, the only stuff I really keep is stuff that I like. So I'll go back, and if I liked it at one point, I'm sure I'll like it sometime in the future, maybe. You know, um, but so I'll go back and listen to something, and sometimes I'll be shocked. I'll be like, wait a minute, I'll have no memory of recording that, or no memory of writing that. So it's like it's not even you. It's like it's me. It sounds like me, but I have no memory of it because it was so long ago, or I've done so much since then. You know, um, and so that's a pretty cool thing. You know, um, I should actually do some of that today. Actually, go back and dig through some stuff. But also like the music that I actually put out. Like I've got music on iTunes. You know, if you're interested, if you have 99 cents, burn a hole in your pocket. I've got music up. Just search my name, Johnny Beane, on iTunes, and you'll find like 5 or 6 songs, you know. I haven't put anything up in a while. It's been a few years since I last did that, but I do have some things that I've thought about throwing some stuff up on iTunes, you know. Uh, but I'll go back and I'll listen to some of that stuff sometimes. You know, the stuff I really worked on, you know, before I put it up or released it or whatever. And I'll listen to that, and that's always pretty cool, you know. I mean, yes, I do get sick of my own music, but I can always listen to it and always enjoy it. But then at the same time, always be like, "Well, wait a minute, this sucks." You know, this this could be a lot better. You know, I'm never, I'm never totally happy with anything I do ever, ever. That's one of my problems. You know, sometimes you just have to let it go, let it out there, and it's cool when people say they dig it. You know, but you know, I just keep my mouth shut and say, "Oh, thank you very much," but you know, personally, I hate it. uh, anyway, Sean, hey Johnny, any interest in jamming sometime? Next time you're in the Mountain View area? Oh, are you in Mountain View, Sean? I drive past there. I drive past San Jose all the time. The last time I was actually in Mountain View it would have been a year ago for that last Van Halen concert when they played Shoreline. That's the last time I was there. What do you play, Sean? Do you play guitar? Let's see. Oh wow, I have a lot more comments here. Whoa. Manny says making people laugh puts a smile on my face, as corny as that sounds. Yeah, same with me, man. Same with me. I like making people laugh. You know, that's one of the things about these broadcasts that I do. You know, I'm never serious, even though some of the things I say are serious. You know, we talk about the Eddie guitars and stuff. That's all serious. Um, but you notice I laugh all the time, and whoever I'm talking to, uh, we have fun. It has to be fun. You know, you have to have a personality when you do this kind of thing. You can't just be sitting there like a cardboard cutout. You know, you have to. It's entertainment. You have to entertain, and that's one of the things that actually I've really. That's one of the reasons I've really gotten into doing these things, these live broadcast things, these hangouts, podcasts, whatever, is because I'm able to entertain people, I guess. I mean, obviously, it must be entertaining if you guys are listening. I mean, you know, it it's cool. It's really cool. You know, this is something I've just really started doing just more very recently. Um, you know, in real life, I do not talk this much. And the only reason I'm talking is because, you know, when you're on a podcast like this, you have to talk. But in real life, I really don't. Anybody who really knows me, uh, I think they're probably shocked that I actually do this kind of thing now, because this is something I never ever would have thought I ever would be doing. You know, but it's and I can actually thank the VEDA, these vlog every day series. You know, these things. Go back and watch some of my older. I've been doing this VEDA thing for like 3 years now, I think. There's a VEDA playlist on my channel. Go back a couple years and watch some of those videos. You'll see like a totally different person. You know, I really suggest anybody, if you really want to do this kind of thing, meaning talk to a camera. And I know you can't see my face on this. I'm doing this as basically like podcast kind of deal. But anybody who would really wants to get into this, making videos, making vlogging, talking to a camera, because a lot of us, I know Joe Wentz. You've sent me some videos of you driving in your car. Yeah, I've been doing that for years, making videos, talking to the camera while you're driving and stuff. I've been doing that for a long time, and if you really want to get into doing something like this, I'd really suggest taking the VEDA challenge. Really, is what it is. And yeah, I said VEDA, not cinnamon. Do not take the cinnamon challenge, please. But yeah, if you'd really like to get into making videos, talking, do your own broadcast, whatever it is, because anybody can do this nowadays. That's the great thing about the internet. That's, you don't even have to have expensive equipment. You can have a phone. You can talk to your phone. You can talk to. I mean, obviously, the better stuff you have, the better the quality. But you got to have the content though, to back it up. It's like whatever you whatever you do, you just be yourself. That's really what it's all about. Doing this kind of thing. I don't even know how I even start talking about this. Yeah, just be yourself. But if you want to be a more outgoing version of yourself, do this challenge. And that's something it's really helped me doing this kind of thing. And it's actually very, very embarrassing for me to be saying this stuff. It's embarrassing when I do these things. I don't even watch my stuff back. When we do all these hangouts, I'll look at it the next day, just to look at the flow, because I'm always trying to make them better as far as the flow of the show, the broadcast, whatever. People keep calling it a show. To me, it was never a show. To me, it was just me talking to friends, talking about cool stuff. People comment, we answer their questions. That's all it is. But people keep telling me, "Oh, I love your show. I love your show." Our buddy Philip McKnight says, "Oh, Johnny's show. That's one of my favorite shows." It's like, huh? Show? What are you talking about? But yeah, I guess it's turned into a show or whatever. So, but yeah, if you want to do this kind of thing, take the VEDA challenge. Basically, they give you a calendar, and you every day it gives you a topic, something to talk about. So that's really what it is. So I can actually really thank Savvy Sexy Social. Amy is her name. I can really thank her for helping me do this kind of thing. Because for years, for decades, I could never get on stage or get in front of people unless I had my guitar. I could never just talk to people. It was a huge problem I had for most of my life up until very, very recently. And I mean recently. I mean probably the last year. I had terrible stage fright. Unless I was playing music. If I had a guitar, no problem. I can play in front of anybody with a guitar, no big deal. But talking to people, it was awful, terrible. But doing these VEDA videos, doing these hangouts, it's made it a lot easier. A lot easier, and it's great. It's great. So let me see. Sorry, I know I'm just rambling, but that's kind of what this is all about, though. Anyway, nobody says Hell and Sinister. Those are Randall amplifiers, which are amazing also. Hell and those are the names of the ramps? Hell and Sinister? Dang. Are they pretty mean sounding amplifiers? Reverb 14 says, I just want to learn songs from Van Halen and the modern band Avenged Sevenfold. That's cool. That's very cool, man. Yeah, yeah. Learn stuff that you like, you know? I know a lot of people, uh, since I'm always talking about music, gear, guitars, instruments, I always end up talking to people about what kind of music they like, what bands they like, what styles of music they like. And time and time again, I hear the same thing like, oh, I like this band, I like this, I like that, but no country. I hear all the time from people that they hate country music all the time. And I can understand. I can understand where they're coming from. And if you like certain types of music, there's other certain types of music that are just not the same, you know. But what I would suggest though for people is especially if you want to make music, if you want to write your own music, I would suggest listening to as many different things as you can, no matter what it is, you know. Actually, most of the stuff that I listen to myself doesn't even have guitar in it, believe it or not, you know. I don't even I don't even listen to guitar a lot of guitar heavy music. It's not my thing, you know. I mean I do like a lot of different things. But I myself I get inspired by just other stuff, you know, other types of stuff like singing. Some of you guys may know I listen to a lot of like Sinatra, uh, Dean Martin, you know, Sammy Davis, the Rat Pack. I listen to a lot of that, and that has nothing to do with rock music, right? Um, but I can listen to that stuff. I can get inspired by a lot of different things and take it back and let it out my own way through my own music, which ends up being rock music. You know, thing is, if you listen to too much of the same thing, you're just going to become a clone of the same thing. And it's if you really want, you know, uh, I mean, it's mainly if you want to make your own music, that's really what it is. If you're going to write your own stuff, that's really what I'm talking about. I guess is listen to as many different things as you can, no matter what it is. Uh, if it inspires you, it's all about being inspired. You know, 802 Blues says Ray Charles inspires me. I listen to a lot of Ray Charles. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I listen to a lot of different stuff. It's like I may be in these hangouts and talk about Edward Van Halen nonstop with all these other guys, but um, I listen to so many different things. But Edward himself he's a major influence on me, uh, musically, uh, and even just as a person. He's a very inspiring person. That's that's one of the cool things about that guy. Let's see. Joe Wentz says James Brown is the man. Dude, I saw James Brown in concert years ago in San Francisco. Uh, Nobody says if you want to go to Berkeley, study it like being run over by a truck. You really get to know theory and your instrument. 802 Blues says I find I play better on a guitar that is beat up a little. I'm more comfortable uh, with it if it's if it's too nice, you'll worry about messing it up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, oh, who is this? Hi from oh, how do you pronounce that? Hi from Spain. Hey, how are you? Sorry, I can't pronounce your anyway, thank you for listening. Reverb 14, I have a GFX 15 DSP crate with gain, clean channel with low, medium, and high settings, but can use reverb, delay, chorus, or flanger. But I'm not really sure what the bypass setting is for. On that particular amp, a bypass setting? Wouldn't that be just a bypass stuff? Like to go just like clean maybe without going through all those effects and stuff? Is that what that means? Uh Stefan says, I'm considering a Wolfgang. What model would you suggest other than the USA? Man, I would suggest any of them. Any of them. The even the what they call the Wolfgang's standard um from Indonesia. Those are great guitars. You know, those are great. The one that I have is the special made in China. But mine is a parts guitar. Uh, a buddy of mine gave me a set of Wolfgang pickups, and so I basically built a guitar around them. You know, I got the body, I got the neck, and just slapped it together. And it's a great guitar, awesome guitar. It's the Chinese version of the special. They do not make them brand new anymore, but you can still get them. You can still get them. There's also a Japanese version, which is very similar. Um, I'd recommend any of them, any of them. You know, but I will say that the Chinese version and the Japanese versions are better than the Indonesian version. The part it's better parts. So depending on what you're looking to do, you know, I would definitely I'd recommend any of them. But also, if possible, go and play one. Go if you have a local guitar center. Most guitar centers will have a Wolfgang standard, which is the Indonesian model. You'll find either like a quilt looking like, is it a quilt top? I mean, it's just a veneer. It's not. You'll find a red one. You'll find a black one. You'll find a gloss black, which actually that's the model Edward actually played live on the last tour. He actually played a gloss black Wolfgang standard for the song "I'll Wait." Look up on YouTube, and you'll find for "I'll Wait" the last tour. he played a couple of the Stripe series. He played the Circles, he played the Star, and he played the Standard, the gloss black Standard. That particular guitar you can actually find at most Guitar Centers, and you can actually play them. A lot of times they probably won't be set up correctly because kids walk into Guitar Center and they just trash the stuff all day long. So you might walk in there and find a guitar, and it might not be set up right. The pots might be loose, wang bar might be gone, whatever. Um, but if you really want to try a guitar out, take it up to the counter and say, hey, I'd like to try this. Can you, set this up? And they should do that. Tell them you're interested in buying it. Even if you're not, tell them you're interested in, you're thinking about buying it, and they might set it for you, or they might actually have a new one in the back, in a box. Actually, they might actually have to do that, and just have them go get that one and play and try that one out. Most of them should be somewhat set up from the factories. Somewhat. I'd say probably a lot better than it probably is walking in there if it's been trashed, by people. Because sadly, that's what happens. Nobody says my dream is to walk into Guitar Center, plug in, and blow everybody away. I'll do it someday, and we'll leave and say, yeah, that's right. Lol. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, for me, I can't play in Guitar Center. For one thing, truthfully, it's embarrassing. I can play, I can play a show. I can play a club. I can play a theater by myself, which I have. Look up on YouTube. There's videos of me playing a theater by myself, well, with the drummer. Right. It's called the Brava Theater. Just search my channel here for Brava and my name, and you'll find some of those videos. So I can do that, no big deal. But yeah, I can't play in music stores. It's even now, it's embarrassing. I can't do it. So if I'm trying out some gear, I know a lot of the videos you guys have seen me do where I play a lot of these guitars at Guitar Center, whether I'm trying out a guitar, trying an amp, trying a pedal, whatever, that's always like in a closed off room, what they call the platinum room, where I'm by myself. That I have no problem. Plus I can film the videos in there and there's no outside music, because at Guitar Center, when you're in the main room, you hear music piped in, and actually that music you cannot have in YouTube videos, so I stay away. I go off into the side room and record my videos and play and whatever. It's no big deal. But yeah, but also if I try out gear that's like out in the main room or whatever, it's very, very quick. I do it very quickly, and if I really want to try something out, I'll have them drag it into the platinum room, so I can be by myself with it. Sean says I agree 1,000% with, I guess, probably something I said. Pronounced. Oh, I still can't read that. I'm sorry. Something Islands. BALAERIC Islands. Very cool. Very cool. 802 Blues says Eddie definitely big influence on me playing wise, but his innovation has a bigger influence. I'm always messing with my gear, trying to sound better. Yeah, that's one of the things, man, about that guy is he influenced a lot of people in a lot of different ways. A lot of different ways. I mean, he's there was Jimi Hendrix, and then there was Edward Van Halen. and that's really it. You'll never see anybody like him again. There's other people that have come out since where they do some cool things here and there, but nobody has had a bigger impact on the electric guitar since Edward. Yes, Hendrix before him, yes, but since then, no, not to me anyway. But yeah, there are some other players out there that are great, But Edward really is. He's the whole package, as far as songwriting, guitar playing, soloing, having just a sound that just does something to you. You know, nobody's done that since. And I don't think anybody ever will. Not for me anyway. Be very. I'd be very surprised. But yeah, there are a lot of other musicians that I like. A lot of songs I like. Whatever. But Reverb 14 says really like the stealth that Eddie used on the 2012 tour. Yeah, that was a cool one. He actually had two of them. He had two of those guitars. Um, and he generally stuck to one, but there was actually two that looked identical. Stefan says my local dealer has a new Japanese made one. Oh, Wolfgang, dude, I I'd go for that one, man. I'd get that one, depending on the condition, of course. Joe Wentz says yes. I freeze up at Guitar Center. I hate that crap. No problem, Johnny. Great talking, by the way. Thank you. Thank you. And yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't pronounce your name here on YouTube is Capitantem. Captain Tim? Captain Tim? 802 Blues. Hey, Johnny, you always talk about Eddie and Andy, meaning Andy Summers. What are some of your other I have to open this. What are some other guitarists that influenced you? Well, yeah, as I always say, Edward Van Halen, Andy Summers, those are two people that really changed my life as far as the guitar and music. Um, there's another Andy named Andy Taylor, which most of you will know him from Duran Duran. He was the original guitar player. He's not with them anymore. He has not been with them for like several years. We're coming up on 8 years, 10 years. He's great. I really dig his guitar playing, his original music. I really like it a lot. And yeah, he's a super cool dude. Um, I like a lot of people. I mean, I, I like I like a lot of bands, and so like I might not even know the guitar player's name, but I might like the stuff that they do in the songs. I mean, there's another band called Garbage. Um, and what are their names? Duke, Duke, and I can't even think. Anyway, I really like a band called Garbage. I really dig those two guys. Get some more comments. Oh, I'm the only one in here, so I got to take a short break. I'll be right back. Okay. So don't split. See, if I had a commercial, I could play it right now. I don't think I have anything. Anyway, I'll be right back. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, I really need to like pre-record a commercial or something that I can play when it's me by myself. I have some ideas. uh, so anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, there's a lot of I like a lot of bands. I like a lot of music. I might not know, the guitar player's name, but I like what they do. But as far as like main people that have really influenced me, uh, Andy Summers, Edward Van Halen, Andy Taylor from Duran Duran. He was also in the Power Station, if you guys remember that band from the mid '80s when Duran Duran kind of broke up. The members went in two different directions. Simon and Nick Rhodes became a band called Arcadia. Was that right? And then John Taylor, and Andy Taylor joined up with Robert Palmer and started a band called the Power Station. They made some great music, great stuff. Some Like It Hot, Bang a Gong. Um, as far as other guitar players, Tom Morello, I really like. So he's actually he's kind of the next step in the, like I was talking about, Hendrix, Van Halen. If you were to ask me like who's next in that list, kind of, it would be Hendrix, Van Halen, Tom Morello. You know, he does some crazy, crazy stuff. Whether you like their music or not. I I really do like Rage Against the Machine. But I really, really dug the band that they did with Chris Cornell called Audio Slave. Amazing, amazing albums. And I kicked myself because they were here in town and I didn't go. Or maybe I didn't even know. Maybe I didn't even know they were here. And I found out later that they were here, and this was years ago. And I was like, oh, it would have been so cool to have seen them, you know? And he actually comes back all the time, Morello. He's actually always here, but I've never seen him, you know. Uh got some more comments. Stefan says I wasn't a big EVH fan until I started getting into Dimebag's playing. After hearing him go on and on about Eddie, I went back in the late '90s and got a better understanding to EVH's greatness. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, yeah, that's the cool thing too, like the guys that you like, the guys that you enjoy listening to, the ones that inspire you, check out the people that inspire them, because you can find a lot of different, totally different things. A lot of you guys know that Edward was inspired by Clapton, which is totally different, than what Eddie does, you know. Although you can hear bits and pieces of Clapton's music, his soloing within Edward's soloing. Um, but you know, let's see. Oh yeah, and Dimebag. Yeah, speaking of Dimebag, yeah, I got to meet him back in 1995. Actually, a friend of mine was a huge Pantera fan, and Dimebag was doing like a signing at a music store in San Jose, guitar shop. So we drove down, and basically my buddy he had a Deane, a 1979 Deane ML, which if you're familiar with those guitars, he had one of those. It was his favorite guitar in the world, and Dimebag signed it for him. He signed it on the headstock, on the wing. You know how the Deane logo has wings? I have photos of it. I have pictures. Um, But yeah, so I've got some photos of me with Dimebag, and I still have the autograph. He signed a catalog for me, and I still have it. I still have all that stuff. So that was very cool. Very cool. Um, Nobody said, I've never seen Eddie play bad. Have you? I don't remember. He just can't. He can just plug in and play anything of his instantly. Well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing about Edward is when he plays. I mean, he has a style and a sound that's just totally unique and is him. And anything he plays, I mean, to me, like I've said this a million times, I'd rather hear Edward play two notes or play one note. I'd rather hear Edward do, well, I guess what you'd call a dive bomb. You know, you know how one of his signature licks or moves is doing a dive bomb on the G. You know, either with a harmonic or with a hoarse tremolo sound or just the G on its own. That's one of his signature sounds. You know, that's total Edward right there. And that's a part of his playing. He, you know, every time he plays, he plays that. Is it a lick? You know, I did a guitar lesson one time where I called it a lick or whatever, and people said that's not a lick. It's just a dive bomb. You know, but whatever it is, that's totally him. Totally him. And anybody who does it, it's like, oh, you got that from Eddie. You know, he was the guy. He was the guy to do that. I'd rather hear Edward do a dive bomb on the G string than hear anybody else play a million notes a second. You know, Edward can play one note and it hits me in the chest, whereas anybody else can play as fast as they want, do whatever they want, and it just leaves me cold. It doesn't do anything for me at all. You know, that's one of the things that's very special about Edward's his guitar playing. Sean says Eddie's like the Beatles, one of a kind. One of a kind. Yep. Yep. Joe Wentz says Andy Taylor was awesome. Thunder. Yep. Thunder. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Andy Taylor, he was making some brand new music about 10 years ago. And it was pretty cool cuz we were actually we were in contact for quite a while over the internet. And he would message me and and like photos of mine. Like I had him on, he was on Facebook. He's not online now at all anymore. But he would like my posts. He would comment on my photos, whatever. Give me tips on things. And it was very cool. He'd watch my videos. Andy Taylor, you know, he would say, "I'm sitting here watching your YouTube videos," you know. It's pretty cool, you know. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he's huge influence, you know. And it's funny because, you know, I grew up with all sisters, right? So back in the day, you know, Duran Duran was always playing in the house, you know, when I was a kid, little kid. And so it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, and I miss him too. He like I said, he's not online anymore, and he's still around, but he hasn't done anything for a long time, and I really miss the dude, and wished he, I wish he would make some new music again because it's great stuff. I have it. I have a lot of it anyway. I have a lot of it. Sean says you should play some Van Halen when you're on breaks. Well, that's the thing is I can't play any commercial music on here. That's the thing. You know, you get busted by the YouTube police if you play anything commercial. I could play my own music on here. Well, I mean, actually, I'd get busted for that too, because some of that's on iTunes as well. The thing is, music you can't really play music on these YouTube streams really because of the bandwidth it smashes. These streams are really for like voice. For like what I'm doing right now. That's really what this is for. Anything that has more than one thing going, like music, it just sounds like it just takes it and drags it like underwater kind of sounding. Uh Joe Wentz, we now pause for station identification. Yeah. That's what I should have said. Yeah. Yeah. Although I could probably play something over here. But the thing is, when I do these things by myself, I generally like I've been on for over an hour now. I generally don't sit here for an hour and talk. But hey, thanks again for everybody who's tuning in and listening. Kenneth says, "What do you think of Mike Oldfield? I love his guitar playing, and he is an amazing songwriter. Oh yeah, he's great. He's great. Yeah, there's a lot of great people. Reverb 14 says Tom Morello and Slash. Oh, that's who you like? Very cool. Stefan says, "Do you like Tin Machine?" Yeah, yeah. I had their album. I had one of their albums years ago. Mm-hmm. Joe Wentz, love the Power Station and Andy Taylor. Awesome. 802 Blues. Play your music during your breaks. Play my music during my breaks. I could. Well, I'd have to play something that's not on iTunes because I would get busted myself for playing my own stuff over this, believe it or not. I could play something that's not on iTunes actually. I could do something. I'll get something going like that. I can probably EQ it or mix it in a way where it probably wouldn't get too affected by the the watery what do you call it, the sound. 802 Blues, yeah, Tom was a huge influence on me. Rage and Audio Slave, they might be getting back together. I'm 32, so I grew up in the middle of that stuff. Cool. Turkish 812, hey man, I just joined. Ian, nice to be here. Awesome. Thanks for listening, man. Thank you. Nobody says, how about John Mayer? Yeah, pretty good. Is he pretty incredible he is now playing with the Grateful Dead. I think I saw that. The Grateful Dead. That's funny. I don't know if any of you guys did any of you guys are you aware? You ever heard of Tim and Eric? Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job. It used to be on Adult Swim. I watch them now on Netflix. Anyway, I'm a huge fan of those guys and their show, and I got to talk to Tim Heidecker just the other day, a few days ago, and I put it up on my Facebook. Go to my Facebook page, scroll down to Tuesday, and you'll hear the audio of me talking with Tim. But anyway, that's one of the things he said though was he was talking about how he didn't like the Grateful Dead, does not like them at all. And I had mentioned, if you listen to the recording, I had said something like, the Grateful Dead and the band Fish, they're very similar, right? And what did I even say? Something like I saw the guitar player for Fish because he was he was in a band with Les Claypool and Stuart Copeland. They had a band called Oysterhead back, I want to say 16 years ago, something like that. And Tim Heidecker's like, oh, he's like, that sounds Sounds awful. Which it's really not. It's not nearly as bad as you would think. You know. Uh, I actually I just remembered this. I worked at a music store years and years and years ago in Berkeley. Yeah, about 16 years ago. And Les Claypool came in. He actually lives in the area, so he came in looking for the owner of the music store. He was not the owner was not there that day. Uh, but it was only me and this other guy that were in there working at the counter. And so Claypool comes in and he's looking for the owner. And I'm like, well, he's not here, you know. So and the certain part of the store is locked up. I can't get to what Les wanted. He wanted like an eco bridge. He was playing those eco basses at the time. Eco, you know, the like the Paul McCartney looking ones, right? Um, but anyway, so I remember saying to Les Claypool, I'm like, hey man, I'm a huge fan of Stuart Copeland because I knew that he was working with Stuart Copeland at the time. I knew they were doing the Oysterhead thing, you know, and this is before I saw them in concert. And so I'm like, hey man, I'm a huge fan of Stuart Copeland. I'm telling Les this. It's not like, hey man, I'm a huge fan of yours. I'm a huge fan of Stuart Copeland. And he's like, oh, so am I, man. You know. Um, and that's cool. That's very cool. Uh, anyway, let's see. 802 Blues, Pantera always had a huddle before they walked on stage. And last thing they would say was Van Halen, because they said Van Halen always left it on the stage and always had a good time, and that's what they want to do. Oh, that's awesome, man. Turkish 812 says, I've got a PV Wolfgang. I personally prefer this to the Fender version. I think it just sounds fatter. Sounds different. Sounds different, man. Yeah. I have both. I've got the EVH parts gang. I don't know what we want to call it. That I put together, you know. Um I've got the PV what do you call it? Wolfgang. I've got the EVH gear version, the one I slapped together. And yes, yeah, they all. I've got the Music Man, the original Eddie Music Man. Yeah, they all sound totally different. They're all basically the same guitar, but they all sound very, very different. The pickups are very different from each model. You know, I dig them all. I love them all. Uh, the PV. I found that the PV Wolfgang is, I would say, the best out of the three for recording because you can get like a clean sound, you can get a dirty sound, which I mean you can do with all of them. But I just find that the PV is just it's the most versatile one in the studio. You know, I think. Although I might change my mind tomorrow. You know, always changing. You know, always changing the pedal board around, always changing everything, except the strings. I'm always using the same old strings. Uh, Joe Wentz says my guitar influences are EVH, Satriani, and Hendrix. Yeah, all great. All great. Sean says I used to have a photo of Andy Taylor and Eddie backstage somewhere. Really? What year was that? Was that like back in like the 80s, like 84? 80 84ish? Yeah, Andy Taylor, he loves Edward. Edward is a huge influence, you know. That's something that Andy brought to the table with Duran Duran. Is kind of the Van Halen vibe to that. Believe it or not, Andy and I, yeah, we've talked Van Halen. Like I said, I haven't talked to Andy for many years. He's not online anymore. But when we used to talk, yeah, we would talk about Van Halen. Um, yeah, he loves them. Loves them. Nobody says I'm learning leads now as if it's talking, which is a whole new world. Yeah. I mean, soloing, that's basically what solo is. A guitar solo, well, a guitar solo is pretty much like a song within a song, you know? But also, yeah, playing the guitar, playing a solo, that really is like talking. That's like you talking through your guitar. That's really what that is. Manny says, I love Tim and Eric. Says Lowell, my favorite episode is the one where Eric has a vacation and makes a new BFF, Raz, and Tim gets jealous. I've probably seen that. I think I've seen them all, but yeah. Yeah, those guys, they're so funny, man. So funny. Joe Wentz says, looking forward to tonight's hangout, my friend. A double header. Cool. Sean says, I met Les Claypool and Chris Isaac in the water at Ocean Beach, San Francisco, years ago. Like actually in the water? You guys were actually in the water? I'll tell you guys a quick story that's kind of similar. Uh, when my brother-in-law met Edward Van Halen, he didn't know it was Edward because Edward he has short hair now, right? So most people think of Edward as having long hair, looking like the Eddie from the Jump video. He does not look like that anymore, right? So my brother-in-law walked up to him and said, "Hey, you look like somebody that I surf with. You know, are you look like my buddy? I don't know what the name was. He said some random dude's name, right? You look like someone I surf with. You look like Steve, you know." And Edward kept telling him, "No, I'm Edward. I don't surf." My brother-in-law, he had a few too many, right? And he kept saying, "You really look like this guy I know who surfs." And Edward finally yelled at him and said, "No, I'm Ed." You know, and it was. I told my brother-in-law afterwards. I'm like, "Dude, there you go, man. You can always tell people, you were yelled at by Eddie Van Halen." It's crazy. Uh, Turkish 812 says, "Yeah, versatile is the word." Lol. Is that right? Versatile? Versatile. Is it both? I don't even know. 802 Blues. Trey from Fish is from Vermont, where I am from. He lived about 20 minutes from me when I was younger. That's cool. Kenneth says Jake E. Lee, Eddie Van Halen, Michael Schenker are my favorites for sure. Cool. Sean says, I think it was an 83 or 84. Oh, the photo with Andy Taylor and Edward Van Halen? Cool. That's cool, man. Yeah, if you happen to know what that, I'd love to see that photo. I might have actually seen it, actually, but if you happen to come across it, though, yeah, let me know for sure. Turkish 812 says, what are you guys' thoughts on Graham Oliver of Saxon? He's And that's where the comment. That's what the comment. I think you hit enter too quick. Graham Oliver of Saxon. I actually really don't. I don't know if I've really heard them. What was that noise? There's like a major chopper flying over. Wow. Stefan, all right, need to do some things before tonight's hangout. Catch y'all later. Awesome, man. Yeah, see you later, man. Yeah, speaking of that, yeah, I should probably. How long have I been on here? Almost 2 hours? Are you kidding? Dang. Turkish 812 says Ed yells at his sound guy, but that's rare. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's very tough if you're on stage, you're playing a show, and the sound isn't right. It's it, it's a battle sometimes. It's not only playing the music, concentrating on what you're doing. Also, you're trying to entertain, and then you're trying to make sure things sound right as well. You know, nobody says if. Oh, it would be funny if you don't know Les Claypool and said to him, "I don't like that guy. He shouldn't be in the band with Stuart Copeland." Well, oh, and talking about Claypool himself, you mean? Yeah, he's cool. He's cool. Yeah, they're from Richmond, California, which is actually that's where Jason Becker lives. Same place. Turkish 812. I'm from West Yorkshire in England, so it's got a little laggy. Oh man, that's too bad. You mean this? This is kind of laggy. 802 Blues says Saxton is the denim and leather band, right? I don't know. I could look them up. Man, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, Turkish 812 says yes. Let's see. I'll take a few more comments here and then I think I'll wrap it up. So yeah, I have some things I got to do. And then yeah, if I'm doing a hangout myself, I mean with some other people at like 5, that's only in a few hours. 802 Blues, he had a big influence on the trash metal guy, Gary Holt. Hetfield, Kerry King. All those guys talk about Saxon all the time. Oh yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. I mean, yeah. Yeah, Saxon, that's one of those bands that was around years ago, you know? And wow, yeah, I need to charge up my phone and my iPad. Everything is slowly. Okay. Cool. Okay, well, hey. And of course, as soon as I'm going to wrap it up, more people are jumping in. Well, hey, yeah. If you want to dig, if you dig this stuff, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. That helps other people find this content, other people that may enjoy this stuff. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe to get more content like this, podcasts, hangouts, guitar lesson videos, daily vlogs, weekly vlogs, yearly vlogs. No, I post, I make new videos all the time, no matter what it is, different things, all different things. 802 Blues. I'll see you later tonight, Johnny. Thanks for everything. I have to go get guitar strings. 40 miles away. It stinks. That sounds like when I have to go get strings. My guitar center is like 40 miles away too. Same thing. Cool, cools. Okay. Well, hey, if you just happen to jump in here, I've been on for almost 2 hours. So if you want, go back and rewind this and you can listen. You'll have at least an hour and a half of stuff you missed. So yes, and it looks like I'll probably do a guitar hangout, EVH gear related tonight, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. Should be doing that. Look forward to that. That should be happening. So, and if I ever have to cancel, I'll let you guys know for sure. And I do have many other. I have a backlog of hangouts. You can always go and watch something from a while back that you probably didn't see. You know, there's always something there. You know, kind of like a rerun, but not. You know, because if you haven't seen it before, like who said that? Was it NBC? It's called it's new. When they do a rerun, they called it it's new to you or whatever. If you haven't seen it, do you guys remember that? Something like that. Turkish 812. Thanks, man. I know where to ask my EVH gear questions now. Awesome, man. Thanks. Yes. Yeah. Any questions you have? Any comments about EVH guitars, EVH gear, Edward Van Halen, Music Man's, PVs, Kramers, all that stuff. Van Halen, even Van Halen questions about the band. You know, the history. You can always ask me. Comment, message. But yeah, on these things, you know, on these things, and oh, there it goes. iPad just died. So okay. I think show's over. Yep, my phone's dead. Everything's dead now. Show's over, everybody. All right. If you dig this, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Get more content like this. It was great talking to you guys. I can't believe I was on here this long, but hey, you know. And yes, look for something live at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here. YouTube channel, Johnny Beane. JohnnyBeane.com. Facebook. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and like my Facebook guitar page. Facebook/guitarist Johnny Beane. Check that out. And like me on follow me on Instagram, Johnny Beane. Snapchat. Look me up. Username Johnny Beane. JohnnnyBeane. All right, keep rocking, everybody. See you guys in a few hours. And it's Friday. All right. Rock and roll. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.